that Duke and Carolina will play in the Final Four. And I have a variety of thoughts on that. The blood couldn't be bluer in this year's Final Four. Villanova, Kansas, Duke, North Carolina. This is the ultimate blue blood bracket. Disregard the fact that Carolina was an 8 seed. They're North freaking Carolina. And Duke and Kansas and Villanova, particularly under Jay Wright, has become that. So you've got chalk dripping from your bracket, however you slice it. Now, I have two great questions of the day for you today. Let's go to the first one.
You ask these questions.
Greeny's question of the day.
The first one comes from Nuno. And if you are relatively new to this program, you should know that Nuno is the most negative person in the entire world. That person who wakes up every single day figuring out who he's mad at, who screwed him recently, and who he's going to get back at, that's Nuno. So Nuno's question of the day, with Coach K making it to the Final Four in his final season, Nuno put this question in the Google Doc, quote, which great coach would you least like to see go out on top? Coach K, Belichick, or Saban?
Oh, my God.
Coach K, Belichick, or Saban. The three greatest coaches probably ever we are getting to watch them in our lifetime. And you are trying to decide which one you would least like to see go out on top. Nuno, explain yourself.
Well, I think it's an interesting conversation piece, right? Because there's all this glowing stuff, and listen, Coach K deserves it, and things of that nature. But at the same time, while we're talking about who's going to play him in his biopic or things of that nature, it's like, let's have some fun. Like, out of all these guys, because we are seeing great guys, right? I would have thrown Pop into that, but like, we know the Spurs aren't going to win a title. Like, so it's, hey, we know Saban's going to keep winning. We think Belichick might win one. Like, so, like,
what's your answer? Which of the three of them would you least? We could have just hold on a second. Hold on. We could have just. I just cost us 90 seconds by letting you explain that. The true answer is Nuno hates all of them.
No, I do not.
Yes,
I think Saban's great. I don't mind Belichick because the Giants beat him and he has the ties to the Giants. I don't want to see Coach K lose. Don't want to see Coach K win the title because of there's a fan base, and certain guys that work on the show are part of that fan base that I just despise.
And that person is #Bubba. So Bubba doesn't work on Mondays anymore because of scheduling reasons that defy my understanding. But he is a crazy Duke fan, and so we have called him to ask what I think is actually the better question today. And Hembo, you're the one who brought it up to me. What is the question for Bubba the Duke fan?
Bubba, as a Duke fan, were you rooting for or against North Carolina in the Elite Eight? Would you rather have seen the matchup, the epic matchup between Duke and North Carolina in the Final Four, or do you hate Carolina so much that you were saying go Peacocks watching that game?
Wow, that is a tough one. You know, I want to see North Carolina. I wanted North Carolina in that game. I want to get the revenge on them. As much as I would love to see St. Peter's, I want to see North Carolina. I don't want them to lose. I want them to lose to Duke. I don't want them losing to another team. I want Duke to take them out, and which we will on Saturday.
So you're happy, forgetting everything else, forgetting yesterday's game specifically. Are you happy or unhappy that Duke and Carolina are playing in the Final Four, this of all years, the Krzyzewski final year against Hubert in his first season? Are you, if you could have chosen, if I was giving you the option, you could either get this or play anybody else, just have Carolina out of the Final Four entirely. Which of those would you have chosen?
No, I think I would choose UNC. I mean, if anything, I wish it was in the national championship because, like you said, the storyline just writes itself. It's unbelievable. This is the perfect way for Coach K to go out. They've never played each other in the NCAA tournament, but they're going to play each other here. Duke's going to roll over them. Nuno's going to be crying. It sets up perfectly. The only thing would have been better if it was next Monday, national championship game. Okay, so that's one side of it. I hear you. But there are two reasons I don't like it. The first is, if I'm you, Bubba, the first is
This is the only thing that could ruin the Krzyzewski story. Coach K getting to the Final Four in his last season is an unbridled success. If they lose to Kansas, if they lose to Villanova, you say Coach K made this run all the way to the Final Four in his last year, and you sent him out on top. Because there is an element of on top to be found in the Final Four, even if you don't win. So that was a win, except the one thing that ruins it completely is that his final game becomes a loss to his most hated rival. Mike Krzyzewski will not set foot in Chapel Hill. That is a city, and he will not set foot in it. It's like 4 minutes from where Coach K has worked for the last 50 years, and he won't set foot in it. That's how much these guys hate. They hate their rival. It's Schembechler and Woody Hayes all over again. Krzyzewski is never again going to set foot in Chapel Hill. If Carolina beats them on Saturday, it ruins everything. It is the worst possible ending for Krzyzewski, and that, to me, means an enormous amount of pressure, an unimaginable amount of pressure on his players.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.